Trekkies. Hi, I actually was thinking about different ways to sign that in today because of the information we have, but I just figured I'd go with the typical and keep things normal. We have 3 bits of news. I'm not gonna wait till 10:30. There's already enough information. We'll just talk about stuff next week, but I think this is pretty much it for this week. So first of all, we have Tony Todd is lending his voice. He's been known for Kern, brother of Worf. He also played adult Jake Sisko, but I don't think that one's coming in. I would think at this point, adult Jake Sisko might already be dead. Unless we're bringing the Sisko back. No, but it shows a lot of Klingon here. Although, future reference, we may bring in adult Sisko, Jake Sisko, because he has the same voice, and they could record stuff now to release later. So, that link is down there. So, I was right. Someone pointed out on the Facebook page, I was right. The Tzenkethi are coming. In fact, that's the second link. It's called The Tzenkethi Are Coming. I was not expecting them to look like this. For some reason, when I think Tzenkethi, I think spindly insectoid, I guess? Anyways, not brutish forearm, elephant-footed. Like they even say here that they've got rhino-like skin, 4 arms, 2 of which are really strong brutish up top, and then they've got ones that kind of come out here and are full arms, like shoulders, elbows, things. They're not like little T-Rex arms. They're like, and they're more for nimble stuff. I guess in a way, you could think of it like the big arms could hold up like a fuselage while the wires hang down and the little arms can like re-put it together and then push it back up in. What it shows here is like they have big arm cannons and shield on the back. They also have a biological shell on the back, like a turtle. And they've got the blaster arms, but like on the inside, there's like computer displays and you're like, how do you know, if you do this, you could, well, the little arms reach over and like, that would be an incredibly weird brain to do that for as strong a creatures. They look like they might come in different colors because we come in different colors. Hell, Andorians come in different colors. They're definitely gonna be like, as they say, a walking weapons platform. They use protomatter to power things. If you're not really familiar with protomatter was used in the Genesis device. There's also Maquis incorporated protomatter into an implosion device designed to overload an impulse drive of a Cardassian freighter. So it's kind of been around, but by its nature, it's really, really hard to do. And we've even seen the protomatter bomb in the old base. Well, it wasn't even an old base. It was like not too terribly long ago that it was completely wiped out. But the Tzenkethi, obviously, like I said, have arms. They've got what looks to be just this, 2 long fingers and a thumb. Not like on Exo Squad where the guys actually had another thumb. Thumb sticking out here. Because that would allow them to wrap around things. At least not according to these hands. No, they've got a tail for dexterous. They have like a dragon style head, but with like a nodule. I'm not sure. They didn't say if it's like for like headbutting or anything. Very, very smart. Very militarized. Obviously, since we've had multiple wars against them. So you can look at all the various pictures. Obviously, they're going to look drastically different based on rank. And they do have a BTTT. They have like a, here's what all they look like. It's the ensign, the captain, the commander, and the lieutenant. And they just get more and more beefed out. The thing that I read in here is the fact that they can't use normal technology. Not like, I don't know if I shouldn't say that. They can probably pick up a phaser rifle and like use it with their big hands. But the problem is the devs couldn't build just normal armor for them. They couldn't use like an existing and then reskin Mako or something because giant legs. They had to completely redesign everything they use, and we're most likely not going to be able to use everything. Maybe like this hand blaster they show here is like a fist weapon, but there's blasters on it because we could hold it in our hand, but it'll be so big. Apparently they're going to be really hard to fight at first, but will get the idea. They will keep their enemies on their toes by being outfitted with technology that allows them to potentially deploy multiple types of drones or fire a grenade launcher with multiple firing modes. Beyond this technology, the Tzenkethi needed to be resilient, but not a damage. So not a lot of high hit points. I'm gonna have a lot of stats to mitigate damage. They're probably gonna be one of the more difficult things to fight, but again, it's not gonna be completely impossible because we'll learn how to fight certain things. Like, there are just certain enemies you're gonna wanna fight a certain way. You're gonna wanna overwhelm certain enemies with raw firepower. You're gonna wanna like kite other ones around because they hit really hard, but they're really slow. Who knows? We'll have to figure it out. I'm pretty much just gonna lock everything into gravity. I'm just gonna lock everything side in a little seismic thing, knock them all towards the center and catch them on fire. And be like, you're gonna burn! You're gonna burn! And just hit them with dual pistols. That's pretty much how I kill everything. Particularly good on Voth. Speaking of lizards, the Voth and the Zindi reptilian, which look kind of iguana. They got a lot of plates and little things that stick out. Maybe not iguanas, but they definitely have their lizard look. And then the Voth are dinosaurs. Lizards, birds, whatever you want to say that these days. But these guys are not so armored like you would expect from a lizard. Or reptile. I don't want to say lizard. They definitely are like hulked out and they have skin. So they're not like Gorn, which have little spikes too, but it's nice to see. They're almost like Sorens. But it's nice we're having another one out there that's not just like, hopefully it'll be absolutely big. The thing goes even more down into like what programs they use and how they're very, so if you're really into like 3D design, you can read the article. It's down near the bottom and they'll talk about like ZBrush and 3ds Max and all that stuff. And then moving on to that one, designing the Tzenkethi ships, they talk a lot about programs in this one. I was mainly, near the top of the systems design. As with ground forces, a fight with the Tzenkethi in space will become easier as you understand their tactics and capabilities further. Something that you'll come to realize early is that the Tzenkethi ship is highly resilient, and the strength of their shields is tough to rival. However, no design is without its weakness. In order for the Tzenkethi to accommodate the strength of weaponry they desired, they needed to sacrifice their forward-facing shield power. In addition, this also meant they needed to localize their weaponry to keep efficiency up. This resulted in their primary means of damage to be front-facing as well. So, attack them head-on? Don't attack them head-on. Because that's the thing, it's sort of like, their front-facing shield is really weak, but their weapons face front. So it's like, what do you do? Tzenkethi would not allow such a flaw in their weaponry setup to exist on its own. In response, they've equipped all their ships with familiar mobile capabilities to more than make up for the weapons loadout disparity. Tzenkethi know the strength of their fellow comrades. As a result, certain Tzenkethi ships are able to make Tzenkethi technology operate more efficiently when they're in close proximity to each other. Yeah. Proceed with caution when you plan to employ bunching tactics against a group of Tzenkethi ships. Gravity well, good to know. Higher rank ships come with proto-matter-laced weaponry. While these weapons can't lock onto a ship post-launch, they are extremely potent to the unaware target. As an additional benefit to the proto-matter aspect of the weaponry and Tzenkethi technology, the explosions leave behind volatile radioactive clouds. These clouds are extremely dangerous to non-Tzenkethi ships. However, Tzenkethi have adapted their technology to reuse and draw in proto-matter. This provides their ships with increased restorative properties and strengthened defensive capabilities. Don't put them anywhere near like if they fly, wow. In space, Tzenkethi ships are formidable and not without a few other tricks. We believe the Star Trek Online community of captains will show adaptability and cleverness that even the Tzenkethi will not be ready for. It goes in, and there's the art creation here, which talks about like what their ships look like. But a lot of it seems to show a texture layout of sorts, and that's how like their ship has a weird semblance of scaling, shell panels, like a turtle. Not like overlapping scales, but like scales that lock together and like grow around each other. You'll have to see what it is. There's the top image, and then 2 images down, you'll see what I mean. Layers upon layers, and then the source files we created are brought into Substance Designer, and now they're going into more programs that they use, creating windows and decals and lights for their ships. This is how this happens. Like I said, if you're into the graphic design, this is probably porn for you. I hate to use that term, but this looks, and then further down you've got kind of what the skeleton of the ship looks like, and then covered in a skin so you'd see what it is, and what the front and the back looks like, the bottom of the battleship, and the top view of the dreadnought, the bottom view of the dreadnought, fighters, or drones. Top, front, side, aft, bottom of the battleship, same thing with the dreadnought, same thing with the drones, and what they look like in space. Once model is done, we need to place all the nodes and display the impulse trails, warp trails, phasers, and cannons, torpedoes, and special effects. I think we might get one of these ships. There may be a Tzenkethi box coming out or something that might have one of these ships in it. Maybe the dreadnought. I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know when this will be coming out. They usually give a lot. I don't think Thursday. I really don't think on the 12th. But I'm not sure. So put your theories below. Like, is there going to be a Tzenkethi box? Do you want to see one of these ships? Do you want to fly one of these ships? Hopefully, maybe we can have some sort of militarized science vessel come out of the box on these guys. Like, they just put down, like, the ships and stuff. Like, I can't imagine if they're going to fight groups of us if we're going to only have 2 ships to fight against. A drone, a dreadnought, and a battleship. There's got to be, like, frigates and stuff. But I could be wrong. Wasn't wrong about the Tzenkethi showing up, but that was sort of like a given. Anyways, so yeah, check out the links below and tell me what you think.